Welcome to Farm Charm Chic. I'm Emily. In today's episode, I have 3 brand new Christmas themed projects for you. It is a collaboration video and I am so excited to tell you all about it and to show you these DIYs. If you like crafting, DIYs, dupes, hacks, thrift flips, or just creating in general, I would love if you would consider subscribing. When you do see your favorite project today, remember to hit that thumbs up. Let's go make some DIYs. Brandy over at the DIY Struggle has a line of crafting items. She has these beautiful rub-on transfers. She has some decoupage paper. She has some beautiful elements. And she has sent me a package to use for my video today. And so I'm just opening up everything that she sent me to have a look at everything. These are some rub-on transfers. And you guys know that I love using rub-on transfers. And it's so fun to find a different brand or kind of them to use because sometimes you feel like you're stuck to just the couple that are out there. And so this is a great alternative. And these are, look how beautiful these are. You guys, immediately looking at this, I'm like, well, I know which one of these I want to use. They are so cute. I can't wait to show you which one I choose. Now, this is some paper on here that are some decoupage paper that she sent. These designs are absolutely beautiful. Just look, look at these. I'm so excited to use these all season long. And they are such high quality and the images are beautiful. They are crisp and clear. They are sure to make any of your DIY projects amazing. So I'm just going through these trying to decide what I want to use. I actually surprised myself with these, which one I end up using. This beautiful girl there reminded me of like Elsa from, like a ice princess or something. And then there is this gigantic sheet here with all of these different elements on here. Spoiler alert, I have a video coming out tomorrow also that I use one of these in. But I just think these are so beautiful. That darling little fox, so cute. These are just beautiful. Brandy, you did amazing with these. There is also this sheet right here, or there's actually 2 sheets in here, these poinsettias. When I opened these up, I was just immediately transported back in time to when I was at my grandma's house. She loved decorating with poinsettias and they were everywhere. And she had all sorts of different red and gold decor. And then there are these darling little circles that would be so cute to put on ornaments. These are also fun. I cannot wait to get crafting with them. Here is some information for Brandy. I'll leave all this down in my description box, but I thought I'd just leave this here in case you wanted to screenshot it, scan that QR code. Just doing what I need to there. And there's also, I didn't realize this was in there, but there's this beautiful wooden medallion emblem that's in there. I think this is so cute and the detail on this is absolutely amazing. And you guys, I did the cutest project with this, totally out of my normal style, and I absolutely love it. But let's take these items and let's go make some crafts. All right, for this project, I'm using this beautiful medallion that came from the DIY Struggle, and then just any sign. This is just a square. I think this was a Walmart clearance find that I found a couple summers ago. I'm going to pop that lemon right off there, throw it into my stash for another project. It'll probably never get used, let's be honest, but I feel better about saying that I'm going to use it. So I'm going to sand off the words on this, give this kind of a rustic finish here. You could paint this if you wanted to, whatever you wanted to do in case you see any of this through here, but I really liked the rustic look, so I'm good with it this way. I'm giving this a coat of Mod Podge here, just a light coat, and then I'm going to set that aside and let that dry. Now, while that's drying, I'm going to paint the medallion with some white paint. Spray paint would probably work really well with this. I was cold and rainy on the day I was doing this, so I could not spray paint it. But just use a paint brush, pounce your paint really well into all those little grooves and everything, and it works great. Now, to make all of this beautiful detail show up, I'm using some rub and buff, and I'm just using my finger. I start very lightly to begin with because you can always add more, but it's really hard to take it off. Now, I'm just kind of swirling my finger around here and just trying to get that gold on all of those raised areas. As I was doing this just reminded me of beautiful furniture from my grandma's house that would have all of these beautiful details on there that were kind of that bronzy color. Maybe she'd painted over it at one point and been worn down to see a little bit of that gold brassy color. That's totally what this reminded me of, and I just loved it. Now, I also got this paper from the DIY Struggle. This is part of the decoupage paper here that I'm going to use for this project. Originally, when I saw this, I thought, well, that's not really my style at all. But you guys, I love how this project turns out. And it was the first one of the decoupage papers that I used. And even though it's not my normal style, I absolutely love this. So once that Mod Podge is totally dry, you're just going to lay your decoupage paper down on it. And then I'm putting over a piece of parchment paper, and I'm just using my little mini heat press to reactivate that Mod Podge. And that is going to seal and bond that decoupage paper to the form that you're using. Thank you to Tammy over at Happiness Created. She is the one that finally convinced me to try this method, and she told me I would never go back, and she was not kidding. I love this method. It's easy. I only use this mini heat press for my decoupage project, so I'm not going to like ruin any other craft projects or fabric or anything, but you always want a piece of parchment paper between your heat source and your Mod Podge. Now I'm just going to sand the edge of this because you want to have this have a very professional, clean looking edge. So just using a fingernail file, I just go in a downward motion along each of the edges, and that's going to clean this up really nice, make it look like that paper was tailored for this project. Now, to finish off that edge, I just decided to try a little bit of the Rub and Buff, and I actually really liked the way it looked. In fact, I like it so much, I end up really filling in the corners here. I'll show you in just a second. But again, optional, some black paint might be kind of nice. You can see those are the corners I was talking about there. I just really liked the way that this gold popped with that almost geometric pattern. And then this beautiful medallion here that has all of that detail. I just loved all of the elements here. Now, rather than hot glue, I'm just using some Gorilla Super Glue to bond this down. Probably way too much, but that puppy is never coming off of there. So then here is my fantastic eyeballing, because I do not measure anything hardly ever. I drive my husband nuts, but I just eyeball all of my crafting, and you'll actually see I go in with my fingers and I'm like, yep, that's about the center there. And I go from the top and the bottom. Yep, that's about center there, maybe down just a smidge. I look at it and I go, yep, it looks good to me. So I will tell you that a lot of times when I actually do measure after a project, I'm surprised at how in the center I actually am. But this turned out so cute. I love this. I think this is a very elegant feel, very neutral for Christmas, very subtle. It is a great piece to have that you could leave up all winter, really, if you wanted to. But I just love the contrast of that really like stark pattern that's in the background there. And it's a bold pattern rather. And then just all the beautiful little filigree detail in that medallion. I just think this is a great combination, and I really love how this turned out. What do you guys think of this one? Today's video is part of a collaboration playlist. This is put on by Brandy over at the DIY Struggle. It is the Crafting Through the Season playlist. All of these wonderfully talented creators are coming together to have a video for you with products for you to be able to make and use, and all the most wonderful Christmas DIYs. That is the whole point, is for us to get those creative juices flowing in you and get you inspired. So in my description box will be a link to the playlist. I will also pin it in my comments. So if you go right to my comments, it'll be the top one. You can just click on that link and it will take you right over to the playlist, and you'll see everybody's videos and all of their wonderful DIYs. Let's get right back into crafting. I have these bells that I bought on clearance a couple of Christmases ago. It might have been last Christmas now that I think about it, but I got them at Walmart, but they generally have something in the farmhouse bell shape. But I'm just going to remove the word Merry that is on the front of it, and I will give this a coat of paint to kind of cover that up as well. Kind of wipe it back, see if you need to sand any more of that off. It comes off fairly easy, so you're not going to be spending like an eternity getting that sanded off. But we're just going to give this a fresh coat of paint. Now, I have these beautiful transfers that Brandy over at the DIY Struggle sent to me. And I really, when I saw these particular ones here with all these beautiful poinsettias on here, immediately remembered a Christmas bell that my grandma used to have that had this pattern all the way around it with beautiful red poinsettias. It was gold. I mean, these just reminded me so much of that I kind of thought, well, we're going to create a little bit of a nod to that bell that I remember from my childhood. So I'm starting out cutting a few of the bigger rub-on transfers out, and then I'll cut all the little smaller ones out. Now, I don't use this whole sheet. You just kind of want to make sure that you're doing them in proportion with the project that you're working on. So if your surface is smaller, say you have a plate, for instance, that you're doing, or a pitcher or something like that, you're going to kind of match. If I didn't use all the bigger ones, I guess is what I'm saying, because I didn't have that much surface area. So I start with kind of what I wanted the star of the show to be at the front, which is this beautiful larger poinsettia. And I'm just trying to turn it to make sure that I'm still not sure I got it on like right, if it's like upside down or sideways, but it looked good to me. So I think that's what's fun about DIY. So since this is a curved surface, I didn't push the entire thing down onto the surface to begin with. I just started with one edge there, and I'm just going to work in sections. Working on curved surfaces with rub-on transfers can be a little tricky, but they're very forgiving in the fact that even if they wrinkle or fold over on each other, they still look really nice. So I'm just kind of working from side to side. I'm using the little card that was included. I also use my fingernail to kind of help get some of those little areas as I'm spreading it out. But again, I'm only working on that one half that's closest to the bottom of the bell there, the bottom of the screen, I guess, to get that side secured before I push the rest of the transfer down. So I'm lifting up some of the transfer paper there, or the transfer plastic. I don't know what you call that, the plasticky film. But you know what I'm talking about there. You can see clearly what I'm doing. So once I lift that up, I can push the other portion of our design down and just kind of work in sections, making sure that's transferred. These transfers are absolutely amazing. I have used some of the really high-end transfers in one of my most recent videos, and I complained about them the whole time because of how hard they were to get to transfer and these were absolutely amazing and did exactly what I wanted them to. Brandy has her own line, the DIY struggle, of these rub-on transfers. I'll leave all the information in my description box below. But you can find rub-on transfers at a lot of different places as well. But this just gives you some ideas. When you have some, maybe you're like, what do I do with these? They're beautiful to look at, but what can I do with them? So this was kind of a fun way to take something that I remembered from my childhood and kind of bring it into my own decor. Now, after I got that big center poinsettia on there, I'm just going around the entire bell and just kind of working. Sometimes you'll start with like the bigger ones and then fill in with littler ones. I was kind of just doing my best with getting what I thought was a good spacing and just kind of rubbing it on here with the little card that's there. And these transferred so nice. When I didn't have one that ripped on me or tore on me or anything like that, which is awesome. And they all stayed and looked so beautiful. Do you guys have any fun Christmas memories of Christmas decor from like your grandparents or even your parents when you were younger of things? Did you maybe get those after they had passed? Maybe you have them. I have the cutest little, I'll have to show it in one of my videos one time. It's just this little like gumdrop with a candy cane on it, like it's a seesaw, and there's like North Pole elves that are on it. It was like my most favorite Christmas decoration at my grandma's house. And that was one of the things when she died that I said the very first thing when we were talking about who got what, that I was like, I want the gumdrop Christmas ornament. I love that thing, you guys. It is the cheapest looking, like she sold Avon for years. It might even be Avon, but it brings me so much joy. And that's what's so fun about Christmas decor and creating things. That's why I was so excited when I created this bell, because it reminded me of one that I had from my grandma's. And it just, that nostalgia feel is so fun to have and have those memories. And sometimes like my kids are not ever going to remember that bell, but I do. And every time I see this, I'll be able to think of that. Now, to jazz this up a little bit here, because I love to do that and I felt like it needed something at the top, I'm just gluing a couple sprigs of some pine. This is just some gold pipberry that I picked up at Hobby Lobby that I thought was really cute, kind of curly-cued around like a paintbrush or a pencil to give it that little curly-cue. And I just thought that tied in the gold that was on those poinsettias really well. And then I had this beautiful poinsettia clip from Dollar Tree that I set on there that I absolutely loved. I just think this is so cute. It is very much like, reminds me again of that bell from my grandma's house. Just kind of a very nostalgic feel to this. I think this is so cute. I love this, and it was so fun. And those transfers were so fun to work with. And I just think this is great. I would love to know what you guys think of this one. This milk can is so cute. It came from Dollar Tree. I picked up 3 or 4 of them when I found them there, and they're very cute the way they are. However, I love to make things my own, so we're going to totally change this. I removed that cute little farmhouse ribbon on there, and then I started scratching to see how easy this stuff came off of here, this decal. It scratches right off, you guys. It's going to be so easy to remove this and customize this. So I just got out my paint scraper and just kind of went to work. I will say the trees were a little tricky, but if you heat them up with a heat tool, you'll see here they came right off, easy peasy. So I'm just going to sand this off, make sure it's all smooth and everything, and then we're just going to give this a coat of paint to kind of freshen it up and have a clean slate to work with. I have these beautiful rub-on transfers from the DIY struggle. I'll leave all of that information down in my description box. But these transfers are so awesome and so beautiful. But when I saw this Highland cow here, I knew I had to put this on something. I would love to own an actual Highland cow. Right now, I just have Herefords and they're cute and fun, but they are not Highland cows. These things are so fun. I don't know if I'd want the long horns like this. So in my DIYs, I will embrace all of the long horns. But I just think this is so cute, and I thought this was perfect to go on this milk can. So I'm just going to use my little rice bag. My daughter made this for me for my neck, but she made it way too long, so she ended up making a different one. So I use this for my DIYs when you have something that's round that kind of like rolls around. It's perfect to stop it from rolling around. So I'm just using that to place my Highland cow. I'm setting this up before I remove the backing off of it. And I'm just going to kind of center it exactly where I want it, making sure that the head is kind of like exactly where I want that to look with the handles, and where it's, so when it's facing front, I can see a really good view of the cow. So I'm just going to use a little bit of painter's tape. You don't have to do this. I'm just showing you. Sometimes I've had a few of you comment that it's hard when you are doing rub-on transfers of not having it move around. So just put a little bit of tape on it. Some Scotch tape will work, some painter's tape will work. I end up painting both sides down. I removed the back, and then I'm just going to lay this down flat. Now this is a curved surface. Sometimes if you're working on like a round surface, so you've got more than one curve in it coming from a different area, such as like I did an Easter one on an Easter egg. That was so difficult to do. But just be cautious when you're working with curved surfaces that you don't have to lay the whole design down to start with. This one is fine though. So I'm just starting on the one side of the cow, and I'm just using the little scraper tool that came with it. If you have one, that is your preference. Your fingernail works well. Anything great that's going to scratch and basically transfer this design onto your surface. So I'm just double checking, and I'm just going slowly here, making sure that the entire design transfers. Work slowly, because if you start to lift it up and realize an area has not transferred, you just lay that back down real quick and scratch over that area, kind of rub on that, and it's going to come right onto your surface. So, and then I've seen a lot of people do this. I'm not really sure why, but I feel really official when I take that paper and kind of rub it over this. I've never had a problem with not. I don't know if it's just that it makes the surface like unshiny. I don't know. If somebody knows the purpose of that, sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. But it might say in the instructions you need to do it. But I see a lot of other people that look official do it. So that's why I do it. So I'm just going to make this look more like a rustic milk can. I had somebody comment in one of my recent videos about why I make everything look dirty. Listen, if you have a milk can and it looks pristine and clean, I'm not going to trust you. It means that you don't do hard work. I live on a farm. Like we work on a farm and whatever, and trust me, you're not seeing clean milk cans anywhere like this anyway. I mean, we don't use milk cans obviously like this. We don't even do a dairy farm, but at a farm, things are rustic and dirty, especially milk cans from ages ago and eons ago. They're not clean. So I'm just taking some antiquing wax on a wet wipe, and I'm just going around all of the edges here to kind of give that, it makes the detail show up and kind of makes it look like it's worn in natural areas that it would be worn. I mean, I'm not trying to make this look gross. I'm just trying to make it look vintage and aged. So if it's not your style, perfect. Just skip this step. Now, I thought I would tie something onto here. I did like the look of the ribbon they had on here earlier, but I wanted to do something a little bit more kind of a natural feel. And so I'm just using some twine. This is a green twine. I got this in the Christmas wrapping section at Walmart. There was like a Christmas pack of twine, a red, a green, and then just normal twine. And I love it. I use it all the time at Christmas. So I'm just tying just a little knot on here. Originally, I was going to tie a bow, but I just kind of cut the tails off and left it. I did not want anything to take away from this beautiful image of the cow. And so I did not want to kind of compete with that, but I feel like it needed just a little something. Now for the florals, I'm just using some Christmas florals, just some little eucalyptus there, and just a bunch of different things like some sugary leaves that are on here. I also thought that the little sticks you can see on the left-hand side of my screen there, I think those came from Dollar Tree. I just love those and thought they all just kind of matched that beautiful cow and the florals that cow has on it. I just thought that these all kind of helped bring in more of the wintry look of kind of that woodland feel, really. And I just love them. So that was kind of my thinking, but put whatever you want. I mean, it's going to go in your home. If you love bright red flowers, put them in there. I think that anything will look great in here. But you can kind of see the contrast between the cow and the browns in the florals there and how it just kind of ties it all in. I just think this looks so pretty. And this is something that I can set out now and I could leave it out all through January. It's just kind of that wintry look. And I love that. It's not specifically Christmas, but you could make it as Christmas as you wanted to. But I hope this gives you some ideas that you could do with these milk cans if you find them and these beautiful transfers. I just love how this one turns out. I just want to thank you for joining me today for this video. It was so fun working with all of these fun products from the DIY struggle. And you guys, I just love this project right there. I love all of them, actually. I think they all just hold a special place in my heart. I would love to know which one you guys love the best. And you guys, you have to let me know if there was like a very nostalgic Christmas ornament for you that you just remember so much from when you were a child, from being like at grandma's house or at your auntie's house, or maybe it's one that you actually inherited. Let me know down in the comments what that is for you. I love those sort of things, and this is the time of year where you just want to hold on to those memories and cherish those items. Remember that today's video is part of this playlist here, so check that description box for the link as well as pinned in my comments and see what everybody else created for you. I'm very pleased with all of the projects that I came up with today, and I am excited to use these products in throughout my Christmas crafting. They are so well made. Brandy, you did amazing. All of the information is going to be in my description box. Let me know your favorite out of these three today. I would love to know which one you like the best. You guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Happy crafting! If you liked the video that you just saw and you want to keep crafting together, here's another video that you might enjoy. And as always, remember to like and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.